Sairam everyone, and children, you all are welcome to our history class. Let us continue with our lesson, the French Revolution. Okay, and now we are going to start with the new topic, that is the outbreak of the revolution. Now, in the last class, my dear children, in the last class we studied, we read about the French society, and the three estates. We also learnt about the taxes, why Louis XVI wanted to impose taxes. We also knew, and all the tax was paid by the third estate people, the members of the third estate. Now we know that France was running into financial crisis, and to bring France out of this crisis, Louis XVI thought to increase the tax. He thought to increase the tax. But in France, of the old regime, the king, the monarch, did not have the power to impose tax. According to his will, according to his wish, all alone, he cannot impose that tax. In fact, the monarch had to call a meeting of the State General. Yes, he cannot take decision based on tax all alone. So he has to take help of the General Assembly. He has to call the meeting of State General. This State General would pass the monarch's proposal for new taxes. Now, what is this State General? The State General was a political body. The third is to which all the three states send their representatives. All the three estates send their representatives to the State General. But it was the monarch. See here, tax decision monarch cannot take alone, but tax decision can be taken with the help of this State General. But who can call the meeting of State General? That only the king alone can call the meeting of the State General. In the year 1614, this meeting of State General was called for the last time. After that, Louis XVI called it again to talk on the proposal of tax. Now, what happened was, Louis XVI wanted to introduce new tax. So, on 5th May 1789, he called an assembly of State General to sanction the proposals of new tax. A splendid hall in Versailles was prepared to host the meeting. Representatives from all the three states, first estate, second estate and third estate, went to attend the meeting. 300 representatives were sent by the first estate and the second estate each. They were made to sit in rows facing each other on two sides. They were given nice place to sit also. Now 600 representatives were sent by the third estate. See, first estate 300, second estate 300, because their population was less. right now? And third estate sent 600 representatives. The 600 members of the third estate had to stand. They were not given any place to sit, but they had to stand at back. The members of the members or this representatives of the third estate were prosperous. They were the educated members. Yeah, but the all 600 they were educated. They were rich also from the third estate. But peasants from third estate, artisans, and also women from the third estate were not allowed in the assembly. They were not given the entry to the assembly. Yes, but their grievance, their problems, and their demands were listed, were written in some 40,000 letters. Yeah, 40,000 letters they wrote down, they jotted down their problems, okay, which the representative had brought with them. The representatives of third estate, they brought with them. But women, peasants, and artisans were not given an entry to the meeting. Now, in the past, what happened? Meeting was called up and voting used to take place. Okay, in the past, voting was conducted according to the principle that each state had one vote. Means first estate, number of members who attended the meeting were 300, but only one vote they will have. Okay, same with second estate, number of members, representatives were 300, but they will also have only one vote. Third estate had 600 representatives and they will also have one vote. Now see, they are so smart. Louis XVI was so smart. He wanted to follow the same old principles of voting. He knew that first and second estate, they will always be the winner because they get along very well. Yes or no? They had good relationship. So the tax proposal will be passed. Okay. Now what happened was he wanted to follow the same old principle. Okay. Now one vote every state will have only one vote irrespective of their numbers of members in each state. As I told you. This time too Louis XVI wanted to continue with the same practice, same principle. But the members of the third estate, okay, were educated and they demanded that voting should be conducted by the assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote. Okay, everyone will have, each member will get a chance to cast their vote. This means that each and every member would have one vote. So 300 from first estate, all the 300 members will have voting rights. 300 representatives from second estate, even they will have voting rights. 600 from the third estate, even everyone, all the 600 members will have the voting rights. Okay, this is what they demanded. This was one of the democratic principles which was put forward by philosophers like Rousseau in his book The Social Contract. But King Louis XVI did not accept this. Okay, he rejected this proposal. And so the members of the third estate left the assembly and they walked out of the meeting and they protested. They walked out of the meeting and they protested. Okay, these members of the third estate, these representatives of the third estate saw themselves as the spokesmen for whole nation, for whole France. They assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the ground of Versailles on June 20th. Okay, 20 June. Here, these representatives of the third estate, they declared themselves a national assembly. Yes. And there they also took an oath. They promised that they won't disperse till they had drafted a constitution for France. And this constitution would limit the powers of the monarch. Yes, a constitution will be drafted and this constitution will limit the power of the monarch. He cannot do everything on his own. Okay, he cannot do anything on his own wish. Now children, yeah, look at this. This is the oath that was taken by the people of the third estate, the members of the third estate, and this event is known as the tennis court oath. Okay, this event is known as the tennis court oath, and is as it was taken in the tennis court. Representatives of the third estate took the oath, raising their arms in the direction of Bailey. Bailey was the president of the assembly. He is standing in the center. Okay, on the table. Can you see? He is standing on the center of the table. Okay, so everyone raised their hand up towards his direction and took the oath that they won't disperse until and unless they frame or they draft a constitution that would limit the powers of the king. Now, okay, now towards your left is Mirabeau and towards your right is Abbe Sieyes. Okay, now who are these two people? I'll tell you. Okay, now these representatives of the third estate were led by Mirabeau and Abbe Sieyes. Okay, Mirabeau was born in a noble family. He was a noble. Okay, he belonged to nobility. But then he thought that there was a need to remove the privileges system, to do away with a society of feudal privileges. Okay, he also believed that feudal privileges should be removed from the society. He brought out a general and he also delivered powerful speeches to the crowd that assembled at Versailles. Abbe Sieyes was a priest. Okay, he was a priest. He wrote an influential pamphlet called What is the Third Estate? Even he supported the third estate people. Okay, so you saw that Mirabeau, who was a noble, and Abbe Sieyes, he was a priest, but they supported the members of the third estate. Okay, now further what happened was when the National Assembly, these representatives of the third estate were busy, okay, at Versailles drafting a constitution, the rest of France, seethed with turmoil, was very angry. It was very angry with disorder and confusion. Actually, what happened, children? There was severe winter over there in France that time. Now, this severe winter resulted in bad harvest. Production of food grains was hit, and because production was hit, prices of the bread rose. Bread became very costly, and It is like adding fuel to the fire. The bakers often took advantage of such situation to make more money, to earn more money. They exploited the situation and they also hoarded the supplies. Okay, because they wanted to earn more. Now what happened? Women who were standing, they were standing for hours and hours in front of the bakery for the bread. Now this woman, they got angry. First they have to stand for hours in a long queue. And so they got very angry. At times they were standing for long hours, then too they couldn't get the bread. Bread was not available. It was out of stock. Okay, so they got angry, and this woman, what did they do? They stormed into the shop. Okay, they lost their patience because they wanted bread, and they just stormed into the shop. There was lot of tension and anger among the people. At the same time, what happened was the king ordered the troops to move into Paris city. And there were rumors. Okay, it was not true, but rumors spread everywhere that the king will order his troop to open fire on citizens. Okay, the king is going to tell his troops to open fire on citizens. On 14 July, this crowd, they all came together and they formed People's Militia, that is People's Military. Okay, they attacked many government buildings, many government offices. And why they attacked it? For arms, for ammunition. And children, you know, a crowd of several hundreds, okay, a crowd of several hundred people, they stormed and they destroyed the Bastille fortress. They stormed and they destroyed the Bastille fortress. Okay, that was on 14th July. Now, riots spread not only in Paris but outside Paris too. In the countryside, in the villages, rumors spread. And rumors started spreading from village to village that the lords of the manor is a big house of the landlord with his land. Okay, the landlords have hired bands of brigands. That is a bandit, or you can say a plunderer. But it was just a rumors. It was not real. It was a rumors which was spread by someone that these people, they are going to destroy the ripe crops. The village were in a, these villages were in a frenzy of fear. That is a violent mental or emotional agitation. This peasant took hoes. Hoe is a implement that is used for tilling land. They also took pitchfork, which is used again in pitching hay, and they attacked the chateaux. Now, what are chateaux? Chateaux, it is a big castle, house of a noble. They attacked with their whatever implement, agricultural tools, agricultural implement, what they had, they attacked the chateaux. Okay, look at this. Yeah, this is the hoe and pitchfork, which is used for agriculture. Yeah, and these are the chateaux, big huge chateaux where the nobles, they live, big castles. Okay, I put 4 pictures for you all. Now, these peasants, what did they do, you know? They looted the grains that was hoarded, and they burnt all the documents containing records of manorial dues. That is the fees the peasants or the serfs owed to the nobles who was their landlord. So all these records were burnt by the people. Now the nobles got scared. Okay, to save their lives, they fled from their homes. They left their house. They left their homes. Many of them, they left their homes, their country. They migrated to the neighbouring country. Okay, to safeguard their lives, they migrated to the neighbouring country. They left everything and they just ran away from there. Okay, now what happened? Agitation was taking place all over France. All over France, people were revolting, riots were taking place. Louis XVI finally had to give recognition to the National Assembly. He also had to accept the principles that his power would from now onwards be checked by a constitution. See, he agreed to it. He has no other way out. Okay. On the night of August 4, 1789, the National Assembly passed a new law. This law abolished the feudal system of obligation and tax. Okay, see how the National Assembly became powerful. How they put a check on the king, right now? Not only this, the clergy, the first estate people, the members of the first estate, they too were forced to give up all their privileges. Tithes were abolished. They cannot tax the people now anymore. Land that was owned by the church people were confiscated, taken away. As a result of this, the government got asset worth at least 2 billion livres, which was a very big amount, and which helped to some extent to help France to some extent come out of the financial crisis. So here we saw, children, how the people revolted, how they came together. Lot of rumours was started spreading from village to village, country to country. People came together and they became very violent. And Louis XVI has to accept the people's constitution. I'll stop over here, and in the next class we will continue with the same lesson. Till then, take care and thank you.